is Alex. How can I help you?
Hi, Alex. I'm actually calling to check the status of a case number, actually to authenticate a DNA non-invasive prenatal paternity test case number.
Yeah, what's the case number I can help you out with?
The case number is 3821221.
Can you confirm the patient's name and date of birth?
Yes, Chrisean Malone.
That's not what pops up for me.
I mean, the mother is Chrisean Malone. Do you need the date of birth as well?
Yeah, the case number you gave me didn't match that patient.
So, case number 3821221 does not match a Chrisean Eugene Malone, born on March the 14th, 2000.
No.
What about a Jonathan Porter?
No, that may not be the case file ID that's associated with the case. Is it a new case?
No, this is a case from 2023. Are you basically saying that this is a real case number, but not the actual mother and father?
Yeah, it's not matching any of the names that you're giving me.
Was a blood sample taken on 5/4/2023?
No. Completely different year, actually.
All right, thank you.
Chrisean Rock has been locked in a messy back and forth with the CEO of the Zeus network, Lemuel Plummer, claiming he still owes her money and even accusing him of making serious threats against her life. Now the streets are buzzing that Lem is done playing around and he's getting ready to blast Chrisean with some heavy accusations about her allegedly being mixed up in what happened to her ex, Ronny Doe. But let's slide back for a minute to where all this chaos really began. On February 3rd, 2025, around 7:10 p.m., officers pulled up after getting calls about multiple shots being fired in a southern Maryland neighborhood. When they arrived, they found a man lying on the ground in front of a home in the 1700 block. He had a visible gunshot wound. First responders tried to save him and rushed him to the University of Maryland in Baltimore. But sadly, he was later pronounced gone. The victim was identified as 24-year-old Karen Ronny Mackay from Severn, Maryland, and the Anne Arundel County Police Homicide Unit immediately took over the case. Detectives and the evidence team pulled up fast, locking down the scene and collecting everything they could find, from shell casings to small details that might crack the case open. They also tracked down several witnesses and sat them down for interviews, trying to piece together what really went down that night. From the jump, investigators made it clear this wasn't some random situation. This looked like a calculated hit. One witness told police they spotted a suspicious car creeping around the neighborhood earlier in the day, making it seem like whoever was inside was scoping the area and waiting on Ronny. Another witness said Ronny was completely by himself when the shots went off, which makes it feel like the shooter had been watching him and waiting for that exact moment to move in. What's throwing people off is that police still haven't released anything about the vehicle, even though this wasn't a walk-up situation. Those shots came straight from a car. Now folks are whispering that some witnesses might be holding back out of fear because they did mention there were multiple people inside that vehicle. But none of them have been identified, and police haven't shared a single new lead. Right now, the case is still cold, and whoever pulled the trigger on Ronny is still out here somewhere. Police say they've gotten a few tips, but they're keeping everything locked down until the investigation is fully wrapped, which has a lot of people thinking the cops aren't putting in enough work. But that's not exactly the full picture. Word is, investigators have actually tapped the phone of a major suspect named Quell, and this dude is known to be tight with Chrisean Rock.
It says the alleged father is not excluded as the biological father of the fetus.
Let me hear the father. Babe, that's me, you're the father.
Is not
You the father, nigga.
Quell, who is rumored to have gang ties, has already been questioned multiple times and even brought in for a full interrogation. But detectives said he barely gave them anything to work with. Not long after, Quell hopped online and dropped a video saying he had nothing to do with what happened to Ronny. He claimed the internet turned him into a target for no reason and said detectives even pulled up to his grandmother's house just to talk, not arrest him. He went on and on about how he's innocent, insisting the only reason he's being watched is because of what people keep spreading online. Like I mentioned before, Quell has been locked in with Chrisean Rock and her family for years, and his past isn't exactly clean. He's had run-ins with the law and a reputation for violence. He keeps blaming social media content creators for why police are looking at him, but that doesn't really add up. Because if online chatter alone was enough to make detectives tap his phone and drag him in for questioning over and over, then why haven't they done the same with Chrisean, the person a lot of folks see as the main suspect? Plenty of people out here genuinely believe she might have had some kind of involvement in what happened to Ronny, and the idea that Quell either did it or knows who did is not far-fetched. Police wouldn't be putting this much pressure on him if there wasn't something real going on behind the scenes, way deeper than what the internet is saying. Ronny's mother hasn't spoken publicly since the funeral, but she did share a post that said, "You really unloved my son," paired with a video where she was listening to a track by Jaden Alexis, someone everyone knows has long-standing tension with Chrisean. That move had the whole internet raising eyebrows because it came off super intentional and extremely suspicious. Back in December 2024, Ronny pulled up on Chrisean at the mall while she was with Junior. He was trying to talk to her and hand over legal papers for a DNA test, but things went left fast. And Chrisean ended up calling the cops, telling them she didn't even know him. This all happened just weeks before his tragic passing, which makes the situation feel even heavier. After Ronny was gone, a GoFundMe was set up to help cover his funeral expenses, and it reached around $16,000. But people definitely noticed that Chrisean didn't donate a single dollar, nor did she show up to the funeral. And honestly, that raised a lot of questions, because when someone avoids a funeral like that, it can make them look guilty or at the very least uncaring. Now online, folks have built an entire list of reasons why Chrisean might have wanted Ronny out of the picture. The biggest one? She allegedly didn't want the truth about her son's paternity coming out.
Can't even speak on it, but if I was to speak on it, it don't look too good for certain people that we know. So I'm not gonna speak on it.
Well, because it's just all, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm not the police, but I'll just leave it at that. Well, I'll say a little bit. He ran up on Chrisean when she was out in public.
He did, and then he had a paternity test coming up or something.
And then it was all online.
And then it was pow, pow, pow. No paternity test. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, his soul.
She was trying hard to keep the public thinking Blueface was the father. On their reality show Crazy in Love, Chrisean even flashed what she claimed was DNA proof showing Blueface was the dad. But when people looked closer, they spotted something off. The case number on that document didn't match either her name or Blueface's name at all. That discovery had the internet going wild because it made everything she said look questionable. A recorded phone call with the testing department confirmed the case number was legit, but it didn't belong to Chrisean or Blueface at all. It was tied to a completely different couple, which means the paperwork shown on the show was straight up altered. Most people don't think Chrisean did that herself, though. It sounds more like something the network might have done to keep their storyline tight and keep the views rolling in. If that DNA test was fake and Blueface wasn't the father, then all roads point to one possible biological dad, Ronny. And the fact that he was publicly fighting for a court-ordered DNA test right before his passing makes the timing feel way too convenient. Even Chrisean's own sister, Take, confirmed that a DNA test with Ronny was scheduled before he passed, but it never took place, which only adds more layers of questions. On top of all that, Chrisean has been posting some eyebrow-raising messages online, making everything look even messier. She wrote things like, "Everyone that think they can speak on my son always lose they life," followed by more cryptic lines about people trying to harm her for their own gain. She even brought up her son's father, saying he's been locked up for 2 years and lost his freedom when the baby was just a few months old. Then she mentioned her ex-boyfriend, Ronny, saying, "Unfortunately, that person died," in a way that had people stunned. Everything about these posts feels unsettling and loaded with hidden meaning. Rayhan's online messages had everybody staring at their screens in disbelief because the tone was way too bold and way too dark for the situation she's in. When someone is being watched by the public and possibly by investigators, the last thing you expect is cryptic warnings being thrown out like hints in a movie. Her wording made people feel like she was talking about real situations that actually happened, not random figurative talk, and that's exactly why social media started running wild with theories. People zeroed in on the part where she said folks who try to speak on her son always lose their life.
So the other day, I saw this girl calling the Steve Wilkos show, Chrisean Rock and Blueface, and she was like, "You got to have him on your show." And I responded to the comment, "I don't know who these people are." And I've never left a comment on anything where I got just unbelievable.
And that immediately set off alarms because it felt like she was pointing at real individuals from her past. The internet didn't know whether she was venting, defending herself, or low-key exposing something she never meant to reveal. But whatever the intention was, the impact was huge. And in a case already surrounded by suspicion, messages like that can turn a spark into a whole explosion. Then she mentioned her son's father being locked up for 2 years, which added another layer to the storyline she's been pushing online. She described him losing his freedom when their child was still a baby, and the way she said it had people wondering if she was trying to paint herself as someone constantly under attack from the men around her. It came across like she was building a narrative where everyone who crosses her somehow ends up in a bad situation, and people didn't miss that energy. But the part that shook people the most was when she casually referenced her ex-boyfriend Ronny by saying, "Unfortunately, that person died," with a tone that felt unusually detached. Most folks would speak on a loss like that with sensitivity, but her delivery felt cold, almost dismissive, and that made the internet pause. When someone talks about a tragedy like it's just another bullet point in a story, it makes every word sound heavier than it should. At the same time, her messages pushed even more people to revisit the timeline around Ronny's passing, especially considering the DNA test situation that was supposed to happen. The idea that a paternity test was planned, but never happened, left the public split between suspicion, confusion, and frustration. And with all the rumors flying around, her cryptic posts did nothing to calm the waters. They only stirred everything up even more. What also kept people talking was how boldly she spoke about those situations, knowing the entire internet was already questioning her involvement in Ronny's story. She didn't hold back, didn't soften the message, didn't try to sound diplomatic. She spoke like someone who didn't care how anyone interpreted her words. And that confidence, whether real or just for show, had folks analyzing every line like detectives trying to catch a hidden clue. By the time those posts circulated, the situation had already grown into something bigger than a family dispute or an online misunderstanding. It became a full-blown saga that the entire internet was dissecting. Everyone had theories, everyone had opinions, and everyone was waiting for the next move like it was the next episode of a reality show. And with everything surrounding the case already being so messy, these cryptic messages only made the mystery feel even deeper. These kinds of statements are straight up unsettling, especially when you line them up with everything that's already come out about this situation. People haven't forgotten that the Zeus network was tied to that altered DNA paperwork, which means Lemuel clearly knew something wasn't right behind the scenes. And now, the word floating around is that he's allegedly ready to spill every detail he's been holding on to. And that has the internet buzzing like crazy. At the same time, even Steve Wilkos jumped into the whole paternity investigation, which shows just how deep this drama has gone. But now Rayhan is suddenly stepping back and refusing to move forward with it. And that pullback has everybody side-eyeing the situation hard. The truth is, people feel like someone pulling away at the last minute usually means they're trying to stop something from coming out. And the timing is way too convenient. We're gonna break down all the Steve Wilkos details in another video. So keep your eyes open because that story is wild. While everyone waits for more updates, the internet is already flooding with opinions. And folks are not holding back at all. One person said, "I can say paternity by the courts is very necessary. Someone lost their life trying to get a DNA. Jonathan should be cautious. The child deserves it. All families involved deserve it."
This is for Steve Wilkos, bro. I did not call you. I got 12 siblings. I don't talk to not one sibling but Petey, my little brother. Nobody called you, sir. We all sound alike.
That comment hit heavy. Then another person added, Ronny Doe left every single digital footprint. Every breadcrumb leads back to Chrisean being the one who wanted to delete him and did delete him. Comments like that show just how intense the public's suspicion has gotten. And people are speaking with their chest right now. People online are reacting hard because the whole situation is getting darker by the day, and Rayhan's behavior isn't calming anything down at all. Every new detail makes the story feel like it's spiraling into something nobody expected. The idea that the network allegedly altered DNA paperwork already shook people up. And now the rumor that Lemuel might finally speak out has everyone on edge. When someone with insider access hints at spilling information, it usually means things are bigger than what the public ever saw. On top of that, the Steve Wilkos involvement added a whole new layer to the drama. When a show known for exposing the truth steps in, people start paying attention in a different way. But now, Rayhan reportedly backing out of that process has the internet raising their eyebrows even higher. When someone pulls back right before real answers can drop, folks always assume there's a reason behind it. While we wait for more clarity, social media has turned into its own investigation team, and people are speaking with boldness like they're in the courtroom themselves. Nobody is being quiet about their theories. One commenter wrote, "Paternity by the courts is very necessary. Someone lost their life trying to get a DNA." That hit people in the chest because it sums up why this situation feels so serious. They also added that Jonathan should be careful and that the child and all the families involved deserve the truth. When regular people start calling for caution, it shows how heavy things have gotten. Another person chimed in saying Ronny left every digital breadcrumb behind, and in their eyes, all those signs point straight at Rayhan being involved. Whether true or not, that's how deep the suspicion has grown. Right now, the internet is basically holding its breath, waiting for the next reveal, because every new detail shifts the story in a whole new direction. One person summed up the internet's mood with a comment that had everyone talking, saying, "That's horrible to take someone's life so she can hold on to some dude. She's pitiful. Quell is as slow as Chrisean. He can't hide his guilt." People are speaking boldly because this whole situation has gotten way too intense, and every new detail makes the story feel even heavier. Now, the real question is what you think about all this. Do you believe the rumors floating around that Rayhan might have played a role in what happened to Ronny, or at the very least knew who was behind the shooting? A lot of folks online swear she had some kind of prior knowledge, while others think the internet is doing what it always does, taking bits and pieces and turning them into a full-blown conspiracy. Drop your thoughts down in the comments because this story is getting wild, and everybody's perspective brings a new angle to the chaos. Smash that like button if you're locked in with the drama, hit subscribe if you're rocking with the breakdowns, and tap into the next video because trust me, it's just as messy.